The WNBA is on fire, and Caitlin Clark is right at the center of this hurricane. She came back from the Olympic break not just dominating, but literally shaking the foundations of the league. In the game against the Storm, Skylar Diggins-Smith, a respected veteran, lost her cool and shoved Clark. But I wasn't the only one shocked by this. Even Shannon Sharpe jumped into this discussion.
She lead the WNBA in assists. She cooking. Let her cook. Hey. Let her cook.
And you know what? I agree 100% with Sharpe. It's absurd to see veterans trying to intimidate Clark like this. Just look at what she's already brought to the league. Since Clark arrived, the WNBA has gained so much more attention. Arenas are packed, and the level of play has skyrocketed. What Caitlin Clark is doing in the WNBA isn't just good, it's historic. Since she came back from the Olympic break, it's like they turned on total destruction mode in her. Let's get to the numbers, because they're simply absurd. In the last 2 games, Clark is averaging 26 points and 9.5 assists per game. But Clark's impact goes way beyond the stats. She's transforming the way the game is played and watched. Arenas are packed whenever the Indiana Fever plays. TV broadcasts are breaking viewership records. And it's not just that, social media explodes with Clark highlights every game. The most impressive thing? Clark is elevating the level of all her teammates. The Indiana Fever, which was considered an underdog at the start of the season, is now a team nobody wants to face. And you know what's even more incredible? Clark is doing all of this with a smile on her face, like it's the most natural thing in the world. She's not just playing basketball, she's redefining what's possible in the WNBA. Let's dive into the details of Caitlin's last 2 games. First, we had the game against the Phoenix Mercury. Folks, what happened on that court was nothing short of a massacre. Clark didn't just play, she put on a show against none other than Diana Taurasi. The numbers: 29 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds. That's right, a double-double against one of the best teams in the league. Clark was unstoppable. She was hitting threes like she was in her backyard, dishing out highlight-worthy assists, and leading the Fever to a convincing victory. It was one of those games you watch and think, I'm witnessing the birth of a legend, but she didn't stop there. In the next game, against the Seattle Storm, Clark continued her destruction. It was in this game that we had that incident with Diggins-Smith we mentioned earlier. But the most incredible thing, Clark turned all that tension into fuel. And in this same game, Clark received a technical foul for slapping the backboard after a play. And in the post-game interview, she commented on this.
But I think he fired me up to continue to play a lot harder. I thought we got a lot better after he did that, so I want to thank him.
Did you see that? She thanked the referee for the technical foul. That foul really propelled her. This technical foul she received, for many players, this could have been the negative turning point in the game. But for Caitlin Clark, it was like throwing gasoline on the fire. Look, Clark didn't just continue playing well after the technical foul. She elevated her game to a completely new level. It's as if that referee's whistle had activated some kind of super mode in her. And this tells us a lot about who Caitlin Clark is as an athlete and as a person. She doesn't let adversities bring her down. On the contrary, she uses them as a springboard to reach even greater heights. This ability to turn negative moments into positive motivation is what separates good athletes from the truly great ones. It's what Michael Jordan did. It's what Kobe Bryant did. And now, we're seeing Caitlin Clark do the same in the WNBA. But the most impressive thing, Clark is doing all this as a rookie. She's showing a level of maturity and composure that many veterans still struggle to achieve. And you know what this means for the future? If Clark is already playing like this, turning technical fouls into fuel to dominate games, imagine what she'll be capable of with more experience in the league. The sky isn't the limit for Caitlin. In fact, it seems that not even the sky can contain her. And if you think what we've seen so far is impressive, wait until you hear about what's coming. The Indiana Fever's game schedule for this month is simply explosive, and each match has its own story to tell. First, we have the Fever versus Minnesota Lynx showdown. And it's not just any game, my friends. We're talking about the team coached by Cheryl Reeve, the same one who left Caitlin Clark off the Olympics. Can you feel the tension in the air? Clark will step on the court with something to prove. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another historic performance from her. But it doesn't stop there. We also have Fever against Atlanta Dream and Connecticut Sun. 2 strong teams, 2 immense challenges for Clark and company. Each of these games is an opportunity for the Fever to climb up the table and establish themselves as a true playoff contender. And now, brace yourselves for the main course. Fever versus Chicago Sky. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. My friends, this isn't just a game, it's an event. We're talking about a duel that could very well decide who takes the Rookie of the Year award. Two rising stars, face to face. This game has the potential to break viewership records, pack arenas, and leave basketball fans around the world glued to their screens. It's going to be a basketball show like we rarely see. The Indiana Fever desperately needs these wins. Every game is a chance to climb up the table, to secure a good position in the playoffs. But more than that, there are opportunities for Clark to show why she's considered the future of the WNBA. And you know what's craziest? With the way Clark has been playing, with the confidence she's been showing, I wouldn't doubt if she made history in each of these games. The Olympic break proved to be a crucial moment for Caitlin Clark. During this period, Clark took the opportunity to recharge her energies and hone her skills, a strategy that clearly paid off. The balance between rest and intensive training during this interval seems to have been the perfect recipe to elevate Clark's already impressive game even further. We're not just watching regular season games. What we're witnessing is an electrifying race towards the playoffs and the coveted Rookie of the Year award. And we can't forget the bigger impact on the league. The WNBA is experiencing a moment of rebirth. Competitiveness is at its peak. Teams that used to struggle to stay relevant, like the Fever, now have the potential to surprise in the playoffs. Clark isn't just playing for herself or for the Fever. She's elevating the level of the entire league. Every spectacular assist, every improbable basket, every hard-fought victory is drawing more eyes to the WNBA. It's inspiring a new generation of players. It's changing the game. And you know what's most incredible? This is just the beginning. Clark is still a rookie. She still has so much to learn, so much to grow. If she's already doing all this now, imagine what she'll be capable of in the future. Do you remember what the WNBA was like before Clark arrived? Sure, we had great players, exciting games, but something was missing. That spark, that element that makes people stop everything to watch a game. And then, like a hurricane, Clark arrived. Suddenly, the arenas are packed. TV broadcasts are breaking viewership records. Social media is exploding with Clark highlights every game. But why? It's simple. Caitlin Clark plays a basketball that's simply electrifying to watch. She has that "I can't blink or I'll miss something amazing" factor. Every time she touches the ball, there's a possibility we'll see something we've never seen before. But it's not just that. Clark is changing the way the game is played. Her passing skills are forcing defenses to adapt. Her ability to shoot from anywhere on the court is expanding what we consider possible in women's basketball. And most importantly, she's inspiring a new generation. Girls across the country are picking up a basketball, dreaming of being the next Caitlin Clark. She's not just a player, she's an icon in the making. Clark is proving that women's basketball can be just as exciting, just as skillful, and just as worthy of attention as any sport out there. She's breaking down barriers and prejudices with every assist, every three-pointer, every victory. But the season is entering its most critical phase, and the pressure on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever is increasing with every game. The next few weeks will be a trial by fire. Clark isn't just playing against other teams, she's playing against expectations, against history, against the limits of what was thought possible for a rookie. And we can't forget the growing tension with the league's veterans. Diggin Smith's shove might have been just the beginning. Will we see more confrontations? How will Clark handle this additional pressure? The WNBA is on the verge of a transformation, and Caitlin Clark is at the epicenter. The next few weeks could very well define not just her future, but the future of the entire league. Are you guys as excited as I am about everything that's happening in the WNBA? Caitlin Clark is rewriting the rules of the game, and we have the privilege of watching every moment. I want to hear from you. What do you think is going to happen in the next games? Will Clark continue to dominate, or will the veterans find a way to stop her? And that showdown with Angel Reese, who do you think will come out on top? Leave your opinions in the comments. I love reading what you think, and I always respond when I can. Your ideas bring perspectives that sometimes even I hadn't considered. And look, if you enjoyed this analysis and want to stay up to date with everything that's happening in the WNBA, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That way, You won't miss any video about the biggest stars in women's basketball. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.